Andrew, what time did you wake up today?
Today was 3:30 this morning.
James, what time did you wake up today?
3:47 a.m.
The thing is, both of you guys, the common denominator you guys have is both of you guys have a plan for your day. Before the bullets start flying and before the chaos of the day begins, you've chosen to design your day and to design your life because you have goals.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of folks, we were listening to today's show, maybe we have big goals, but maybe we haven't yet become good at designing our day. Maybe we're kind of learning how to design our day. Maybe we're new to designing our day. So on today's show, we decided to interview Matt Kline on the line with OXI Fresh. Now, who's Matt Kline? Matt Kline is the OXI Fresh franchise brand developer. He's a guy that actually, if you wanted to buy an OXI Fresh franchise, he's sort of the gatekeeper. You would talk to him to decide whether you're a good fit to be awarded an OXI Fresh franchise. But he's also a guy that owns franchises. He's also a guy that works out. He's also a newly married man. He's also a man who chooses not to use shampoo. He likes to keep it all natural. He's got a lot going on today's show. Matt Kline joins us to share why it's so important that you design your day if you want to design a great life. Again, every single day you must design your day if you want to design your life. And the 5 steps you need to take to dominate each and every day. All this and more on today's edition of the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download.
Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colin Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you.
Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation is a very special occasion because mighty fine Matt Kline is on the line, live from Denver, Colorado. Matt Kline, how are you, sir?
I am doing wonderful. How are you guys doing?
Oh, Matt, 7% better now that you're here. That is a fact. It could be higher, could be 8%. Some have said 9%. Andrew, you were suggesting maybe even 11% better.
11.5. Yeah,
Look,
11.
But things are going well there, Matt. And I have to ask you, are things going well at OXI Fresh?
They are, yeah. We are. We're seeing record high growth in terms of our franchisees booking month over month. We're having very consistent growth with our new franchisees coming on board. I think we had like 8 or 9 new franchise last month. We have a group here this week from Texas moving forward. So everything on the OXI Fresh front is moving forward, and we are feel fortunate with what's going on in the world to be in the situation we are. But we're working hard to just continue our growth.
So what I want to talk about today is being intentional about designing your day. Because I think a lot of people listen to this show and they say, oh, man, Andrew, this OXI Fresh thing, this thing's on fire.
It's on fire.
This living water irrigation guy, he's on fire.
Fire.
This Dr. Robert Zellner and Associates, this guy is feeling the flow. These guys are all killing it.
That's right.
They see the fire. They see the success. They see
it.
But they don't see the stuff that happens in the dark.
Yep.
The stuff that happens in the early morning.
3 a.m. stuff.
They don't see the 3 a.m. stuff. They don't see the planning stuff.
Yep.
And so what we're going to do, Matt Kline, is we're going to break down some notable quotables. Andrew is going to be taking some notes here. And we're talking about designing your day. All right? Design your day. Design your life. All right? So first off, what time do you get up every day, Matt Kline?
I get up about 6 o'clock in the morning. I kind of lollygag a little bit. Then I do my gym thing, and then I get to the office a little early so I can take care of my stuff before I have to do my job.
So I want to make sure listeners get this. I asked you a question. I said, what time do you wake up every day? And you pretty much knew an answer. Now, sometimes it's a little later. Sometimes is it a little bit earlier. But you have a plan, correct? I mean, you have a system.
Yeah, and my system was so kind of dialed in that when all that Corona stuff happened, my life was turned upside down. It was actually very hard, even though I was working from home for a little bit. that I didn't have my routine. Like, I didn't get up, I didn't go to the gym, so I felt worse in the morning, and I wasn't like getting my stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely driven by routine. It makes everything easier for me.
So step one, determine the time you will wake up every day. Now, when you get to the office, I feel like when you get there at OXI Fresh, there has to be burning fires every day. I mean, really, really good stuff. You know, like, wow, I can't believe how great this is. And then also, holy crap, how did this horrible thing occur? Last night it was so good, and yet this morning it was so bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share about how I deal with them, and then I would like for you to one-up me, okay? So I'll rip on myself. You could one-up me here. So, Andrew, again, step one, though, we have to determine what time we're waking up every day. Step two, we have to decide when we will deal with burning fires. We have to decide when. Now, some people who listen to this show will take this more seriously. Some people will go, I'll try. But I'll tell you, once you get your business to a certain level, you just cannot grow if you don't have a routine. All right? So right now, I called you at 2:30 Central today. 2:30 Central, 1:30 your time, Mountain Time there, I believe. I called you at 2:30. And Matt, why did I call you at 2:30?
Because we have a scheduled time at 2:30. That way I know if it's at 2:30, I know when to be there. We don't have to mess around with each other's schedules. Just
Now,
already
dude,
there.
if I tried to reach you and you tried to reach me, we're both busy. So, I mean, all of a sudden, we would probably spend hours or weeks trying to reschedule. Occasionally, do we have to miss something if I'm out of town or you're out of town? Yeah, sure. But we have a set time for that. Then at 3 o'clock, Andrew, we're interviewing Kevin Jackson, okay? He made the movie Bleeding Blue with Kevin Sorbo, great guy, a movie about why we should not be defunding our police. Why are we interviewing him at 3? Andrew, why?
Oh, Andrew, wow. Because that's what time he has available, and that's what time we had available, and that's the set time. And if we didn't do that, then we'd be playing phone tag for a couple hours.
Then at 3:30, what are we doing, Andrew?
3:30, we're recording at the record Hayden Shaw,
And at 4 o'clock, who are we interviewing?
Kazra,
And then at 5 o'clock, who are we interviewing?
Mr. Rick Manning.
See, and it's just like we have these things booked.
Yep, it's on
now,
the calendar.
as soon as I finish recording today, this is what's going to happen, Matt. I'm going to get out of the studio, and I'm going to go, woohoo, yeah. I just interviewed 6 great guys in a row. 6, right? And Matt, when I miscounted, it was an actual in error. I wasn't leaving you out. I'm interviewing 6 great people in a row. I'm feeling good. But, Matt, I always deal with my horrible, terrible things after I record. Can you maybe speculate and guess, Matt, why I deal with horrible things after I record?
Yeah, I can guess the fact that you're dealing with all those things afterwards. You're keeping yourself in a positive frame of mind.
Yep.
You're staying focused.
Yep.
Some people have a really hard time once those things start to happen, where it actually dictates the rest of their interactions throughout the day. I think that what you're doing is specific to you, right? You figured out what makes you tick and what actually makes you maybe upset or drives you. I'm actually the exact opposite.
There we go.
Like I will literally think about those things until they're fixed. And so to me, not having it fixed right away will actually – so I actually the different. I'll do it before I start my
Now, let me tell you this, folks, because this is good.
Systems in place to do it.
No, this is great. This is great. Now, man, I'm going to tell you how I know how I'm able to not deal with these problems until the end of the day. You want to know the move?
How is it?
I don't even know what they are because I don't check my phone at all.
Maybe that's a difference.
No, I want to bring this up though. This is crazy because this is like
This is a move.
because there's so many problems for me every single day. So let me just go through. I wrote down a list here of some things, and Andrew, you can put notes of these. They're just some things that have happened bad today or bad yesterday, Matt. I dealt with yesterday. Okay.
Sure.
We've got one employee who has somebody who's related to them that wanted to reach out to me and tell me that I'm a horrible, horrible person for not mandating masks inside Elephant in the Room. So somebody who's related to an employee wanted to give me the business. Okay? So I got that. That was interesting. That was a horrible thing. I got another good thing. I got a guy who's a veteran. He's a Marine. He wants to come to our October 8th event we're doing with Guts Church and Victory Church, a big revival event. That's cool. So that's like a great thing yesterday. And a bad thing. I'm honored when a Marine calls me and says, I want to attend your event. That's cool. And then my audio book for a book I'm working on it got rejected by Amazon, Matt. got rejected. And it's like that's not fun. And then that's a negative thing. Then I've got a lady who has large, oversized Flemish rabbits that would, and my kids would like to see them. That's kind of cool. Andrew, you saw that happen.
I saw these rabbits. These were
25-pound rabbits.
huge.
They're apparently
like small
lazy.
dogs.
Yeah, they're like dogs.
But
man.
they're like cats. They're like cats, but the size of a dog.
They act like a cat, like a large,
That's
lazy
right.
cat, but they're the size of a dog.
Right.
But they're a rabbit. No, and I continue.
That was the greatest pause.
Then I have got a pastor of a very large church who felt the need yesterday to talk to me and let me know that by hosting this large event for churches, I'm putting other people at risk. So there we go. I got a guy who's excited, mad about my event. He says, I want to be there. I got another guy who's mad at me for having the event. I got a book that's rejected from Amazon. I got a lady who wants to show me large rabbits. I mean, there's so many things. But, Matt, to me, the ignorance is that I don't know. The ignorance is bliss for me. For me personally, not knowing the issues until the end of the day. For me, on recording days, is that's my mind freedom. Now, I'm not saying that's the move, but I'm saying the action item here is I need our listeners to determine when they want to deal with their burning fires. So now let's contrast that with you, Matt. You want to know the issues to start the day, huh?
Yeah, well, I think when you say the whole story out there, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like for me, a lot of the things that I'm dealing with are individual employees, not necessarily the situations at hand. I mean, the situations are creating either, people feeling good or feeling bad. What I'm trying to do is really trying to attack some of these things before they become bigger issues, right?
There we go.
Your issues are starting. Mine are like, hey, I had a customer yesterday that, I'm talking about my personal franchise.
Sure, yeah.
Had a customer yesterday that, didn't pay me because they said that they think their credit card is being hacked, right?
There we go.
These are not big issues. And so what I said is just give you the tools to be able to handle that. Here's what you do. Your task today is to get paid by that lady, right? And here's the steps you're going to do that, right? Instead of letting it linger for another day and then forgetting about it. So that's just on my franchise. So I do that stuff before my actual job starts. Because once my job starts, my ability to be able to attack some of those other situations are gone, right? Because my day's already scheduled. I already have, like you guys on the schedule for the podcast. I already have screen shares for people that are interested in buying franchises. I'm already pulling reports on territory and competitive analysis for people so they understand what they're actually getting into. Like I have very few time during the day to be able to tackle some of those issues. So if I know that I have a window every morning where I can dedicate to that, I can get it taken care of, right? And then I'm actually concentrating on my job at hand when it starts. So that's how I do it. And none of that will really take place, or at least at a high capacity, unless I first get up, get going, get to the gym, get that over with too, or else then I'll think about that if it's not getting done. So just same type of things you're doing. I'm just doing them that fit my schedule and more and so just my ability to mentally get things the way that I want them. So
now,
I feel good about it.
Now, this is great. Now, I'm going to cue up audio. Steve Jobs could not be here today because, Andrew, he is dead. Let me cue up the audio. This is Steve Jobs, the co-founder of Apple, the former CEO of Pixar. Let me cue up the audio. I want to play the audio. Here we go.
When I was 17, I read a quote that went something like, "If you live each day as if it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right." It made an impression on me, and since then, for the past 33 years, I have looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today? And whenever the answer has been no for too many days in a row, I know I need to change something. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life.
Okay, so again, I want to make sure the listeners get this idea. So idea number one, we have to determine what time we're going to wake up every day. All successful people do this. Step two, we have to determine when we're going to deal with the burning fires. Step three, we have to make a list of all the stuff we have to get done. Step three, we got to make a list of all the stuff we have to get done. Now, Matt, can I tell you and the listeners a secret?
Yep.
Yesterday, somebody reached out to me, and they demanded to speak to me. and I'm sure none of the people listening to this show can understand why anybody would ever be irate as a result of listening to this show. But they demanded to speak to me. They demanded. And Matt, what I did is I hit delete. And I didn't call them back, and I don't care. I don't care. Now, I did call the other person back who's related to one of our employees who wanted to give me their opinion. I did talk to the person who was the pastor of the big church thing. So I don't reject, I don't refuse to return everybody's call. But there's a lot of calls I don't return. I mean, Matt, I get calls from telemarketers. I get calls from randos. I get calls from, there's a lot of stuff I don't do. Okay? And so what we have to do today is, again, step 1, we have to determine what time we're going to wake up every day. Step 3, we have to determine when we're going to deal with our burning fires. And then step 3, we got to make a list of what we're going to get done today. But Matt, we have to remember we're going to be dead soon. So we got to make some decisions sometimes to say no. Am I correct?
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, not every situation, not every opportunity is actually an opportunity, right? It might be something you should invest your time into to figure out if it's a good fit for you. But, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that OXI Fresh is a really great fit for.
Oh, yeah.
There's also a lot of people out there that OXI Fresh would not be a good fit for a lot of different reasons.
Yep.
Right? Effort reasons or time in their life cycle or whatever it is. Like, so absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, you're so right. I mean, if you're not happy with your life and what you're doing, it's going to be really hard for you to accomplish tasks, just simply on the fact that you're not really happy when you wake up.
So what I want to do, folks, I want to ask you this rhetorically. When do you need to wake up every day? Andrew, what time do you wake up every day?
I wake up typically between 3 and 3:30.
Did you say 3 and
Varies.
3:30?
Yeah, around there.
One of our listeners wanted to say this. But you like to go between 3 or 3:30.
Yeah.
Matty Fine, Matt Kline. Matt, what time do you like to wake up?
6.
Matt, what time do you like to go to bed? I mean, what time are you saying, hey, it's time for Matt to go to sleep?
Very much. So I don't sleep very much. So like my window, like I can't like get myself to go to bed before like midnight, right? So like what I say is if I know I have to get up by 6, I need to literally be in my bed, whether or not I'm sleeping or not, at a certain time, or else I won't wake up. So for me, I get about 4 hours of sleep maybe a night.
Are you serious?
Maybe 5. So
Are
I
you
gotta
serious?
Go to bed by like midnight.
Are you serious?
I am.
You know what they say. See a broad to get that booty yak 'em. Lay her down and smack 'em, yak 'em.
Not sure how that pertains to what you just said, but I felt the need to play that
Has
clip.
everything to do with what he just said.
Okay. So you have to determine what time you're going to wake up. Step 2, you have to determine when you're going to deal with burning fires. Now, Matt, just saying that you're not going to have burning fires doesn't make them go away. And I see a lot of entrepreneurs that do this kind of move. Their schedule is packed every hour of the day with no margin to deal with burning fires. And then it gets crazy. Then they're late for one meeting. They're late for another meeting. I won't mention who today. Andrew, you saw it happen. We have an individual in our lives that showed up today that apparently is unaware of space and time. I was very clear with the individual. Our meeting at 6 must end at a certain time. Oh, and it did not end at that time. So I had to kind of do the rude end, like, all right, now we're done here, folks. You know, because this, some people have a unique relationship with time. Like they're unaware of time. But Matt, again, you've got to schedule time to deal with burning fires. How often do you have a burning fire as an OXI Fresh owner? Is it like once a week that something really good or really bad is urgent? Or is it once a day? Or how often does something really good or really bad happen?
Probably one to 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we don't have a lot of burning fires here, right? I mean, if there's a problem burning fire,
yeah,
right, that's because something's really kind of out of kilter there.
Yeah.
But other things are, the really great ones. Like you have a certain limited time to go visit a property that's going to give you $10,000 in revenue if you just go out there, right? That's something where you just have to do it, schedule it, get someone on your team to go look at it, right? Those aren't considered fires, but there's certainly necessary things that need to get done in a certain time frame. I consider those all to be the same, right? They just need to get done quickly, and there's no real excuses. So, there's not many of them, but you still, I think even if you don't have fires, right, like still just create the time frame where you can start to put in your schedule some time just for yourself, right, to think about what you're doing, what some of your goals are. Right? Like when are you writing down things that you need to get done for the next day? Or when are you scheduling time to think about opportunities that may be available to you, right? If you have no time at all and you've never scheduled any of that in there, you're never going to get to it. And then you're just going to be going to work every single day.
This is so important, folks. We're talking. I'm dwelling on this because, Andrew, if you see this, if somebody does not learn the basic skill of organizing one's day, they can't be successful.
Never.
There's just too much stuff. Now, we got 2 final steps, and we'll wrap up today's show. So step 1, you determine the time you're going to wake up every day. That's step 1. Step 2, you determine when you will deal with the burning fires. Step 3, you make a list of all the things you're going to get done. Step 4, you put the stuff you're going to get done on a list. You see, we call that a to-do list, Matt, because we're going to do the things on the list. From the root word to do, enlist, meaning to-do list. Matt, have you heard of such a thing? Have you heard about it?
I have. We have them daily. We have the weekly, we have the monthly, quarterly, yearly. If you don't have lists and you can't check them off, it's going to be hard to get to your goals.
One thing they always say is if you don't have a to-do list,
You know what they say?
you won't have a list. That's what a lot of times you'll see people in the bar and they'll say,
You know what they say?
if you don't have a list, you won't have a to-do list. I mean, that, Matt, it starts right there. It's a,
You know what they say?
if you don't have a to-do list, you won't have a to-do list. Matt, would you agree?
Yeah, I think that's pretty profound.
You know what they say?
It's a song. I'm just telling you. Somebody out there is saying, I'm trying to memorize all this crap. I'm trying to keep all this crap in my mind. Yep. Matt, my mind. Well, Matt, right now I'm building a building. I'm building a house. I don't even know what school my son's football game is tonight. I know he has a game tonight, so I've got it here on my list. I don't know what school it's at unless I look at my list, Matt. You know what I mean? I mean, what kind of a wretched, terrible parent am I? I don't even know where he's going to be playing his game unless I look at my list. I'll tell you, I'm a busy parent.
That's okay, actually. You're good. As long as that game's in your schedule, you'll know that you can get there. But if the game's not in your schedule and you don't know where it's at, you're going to miss it. But at least if you know it's in your schedule, then before the game, you can look to see where it's at. That's not a problem.
I'm supposed to call this guy today, Frank. Frank is a great American, and I'm calling him today at 5:30. There's no way that I would remember to call Frank unless I wrote that down. I mean, again, Andrew, you see entrepreneurs punishing themselves trying to remember all this stuff.
Yeah, they try to keep it in their brain.
In their brain.
Yeah, they pack out their day and run around and don't know where they're going.
So, create a to-do list. Step 5, final step. You got to have a calendar. You must use a calendar. Matt, do you use Outlook? Do you use Google Docs? Do you use a series of papier-mâché products mixed with various yellow Post-it notes and surrounded by feelings? Or what do you use to organize your day, your week, your month?
I use a Google Calendar for absolutely everything.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I think is important for people, too, is consolidate your technology so that everything can live on one platform or at least on one group of platforms so you're not jumping all over. Like all of my calendars in the same place, personal calendar, franchise calendar, franchise development calendar, everything is on one so that I don't get them mixed up. I find that when I talk to people, they have multiple calendars they're dealing with at the same time. It seems very counterintuitive, very hard to deal with.
It's funny. It's crazy. It might be the cause of divorce. I see a lot of couples. I mean this, Matt, because you met some of the great people at our conferences. I mean, these are hardworking people. And they'll tell me, dude, guess what happened? I said, what happened? They said, I forgot my kid's game. Oh, no. And I say, listen, I, too, have been where you are. That's called the doghouse. And what that is when you and your wife have a different calendar. No. You've got to find a way to communicate together. And sharing a calendar is a mega move. It's a great move. Having one calendar for your one life, that's a great move. Matt, you're sounding like you're looking good today. How long have you not used shampoo? Somebody out there wants to know, how many years has it been since you moved on and stopped using all shampoo products?
Can't even remember. Long enough to know that it wouldn't be on a current receipt.
Let's do this. Let's take a moment and really think back to the last time that you used shampoo. Think back.
Had to be college.
Was it college? College. How big was your dorm room, Matt?
What kind of shampoo?
Not big, man.
How big was your dorm room, Matt?
Not big, and I had to share it.
Really?
Shared it with a 6'10" gentleman who smelled awful.
Okay. And what city were you in?
Greeley, Colorado.
Was it in the mountains?
It is not. It's in northern Colorado.
Was the cafeteria food good?
Not really.
The cafeteria food was not good. Were the basketball shorts long? Were you wearing long basketball shorts? Did you wear long like Fab Five basketball shorts, or were they tight shorts like Larry Bird?
Neither. Loose shorts, but above the knees.
Did you wear and one shorts?
No, we did not. I think we had Nike shorts.
What music group was your favorite at the time? Was it Notorious B.I.G. or was it Notorious B.I.G.?
I think it was Notorious B.I.G.
Really? Was it?
One and only.
Did you bleach the tips of your hair?
No, not in college, but I did unfortunately do that in middle school.
See that? See what we did there? We just went back in time to the time and place where you used to use shampoo. And I'll tell you what we learned from that, Andrew. I'll tell you what we learned, okay? Let me tell you what we learned.
You know what they say.
You don't want to use shampoo. Matt, thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And now, without any further ado,
3,